This is Eyewitness News on LA56 with live breaking news.
Breaking news, a bizarre homicide investigation tonight in Montclair. This is Eyewitness News at 8 on LA56. I'm Ellen Leyva in for Colleen Sullivan.
Now, David Ono, ABC7 is live over the crime scene on the 4500 block of Canoga Street. Police say a man's body was found in the car and the words, "Happy Birthday," clearly visible through the front windshield, directly in front of the victim. The car's windshield also appears to be broken near the passenger side door. Investigators say the man, still unidentified, is a victim of a gunshot wound. A crowd has been growing at the scene throughout the evening, and we'll bring you any new details as they come into the Eyewitness newsroom. In the meantime, a SWAT officer is shot while serving a search warrant in San Gabriel. The suspect has been arrested. And Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter is live outside Huntington Memorial Hospital in Pasadena, where that officer is fighting for his life tonight. Leanne.
David, Sean Diamond is surrounded by his family and fellow police officers here at the hospital. The 45-year-old father remains in extremely critical condition tonight after being hit with a single shot.
Authorities say veteran Pomona police officer Sean Diamond never had a chance to react. The suspect catching the SWAT team entering his San Gabriel home by surprise.
When Officer Diamond was assisting or attempting to breach the outer door of the location, the interior door opened and he was met with gunfire.
A single shot from a shotgun hitting Diamond in the back of the head, just below the Kevlar helmet he was wearing. His gear discarded on the street as he was rushed to the hospital.
I just heard a lot of commotion. And, we ducked because we heard all this commotion. We saw the SWAT team going in, and we just all took cover.
Fellow SWAT team members gathered at Huntington Memorial Hospital as Diamond underwent emergency surgery. Pomona PD was providing support as part of a multi-jurisdictional sweep this morning targeting criminal biker gangs. The suspect, 36-year-old David Martinez, who is the target of the search warrant, has a history of assault with a deadly weapon and domestic violence. He now faces a new charge, attempted murder on a police officer. Diamond, who has been in law enforcement 16 years, first with the LAPD, the last 8 years with Pomona PD, now fighting to survive.
I ask that you please keep Sean and his family and the members of the Pomona Police Department in your thoughts and prayers.
Again, the father of two, 45-year-old father of two, remains in extremely critical condition tonight. That suspect behind bars on $4 million bail. Live in Pasadena, Leanne Suter, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Leanne. And tonight, family and friends are mourning the death of a Ventura County Sheriff's deputy killed by a suspected drunk driver during a traffic stop. 25-year-old Kevin Hogreef of Camarillo was arrested near the scene of the hit-and-run crash. 41-year-old Sergeant Eugene Kostanchenko had pulled over a vehicle early this morning on Highway 101 in Camarillo. He was struck moments after he had completed the traffic stop. Fellow officers say Kostanchenko will be greatly missed.
He's just a great guy, hard-working deputy, good sense of humor, and we all feel that. We all feel that when we lose a brother or sister officer in the line of duty.
Two sheriff's deputies already at the scene as backup witnessed the crash and caught Hogreef, who they say sped off and crashed a short time later. Kostanchenko was an 11-year veteran of the Sheriff's Department. He leaves behind a wife and two sons.
An unmanned commercial rocket headed for the International Space Station exploded in Virginia.
Got main engines at 108%.
Avionics power nominal.
This was not a NASA rocket. It was privately owned by Orbital Sciences, which has been restocking the space station. Officials say no one was injured in the explosion, but there was significant property and vehicle damage. The Antares rocket had just taken off from Wallops Island, Virginia, when it suddenly exploded. It came crashing down under the launch pad, sending a ball of fire and smoke into the air. Officials say the Cygnus cargo ship was loaded with 5,000 pounds of gear for the 6 people living on the space station, as well as numerous science experiments and equipment. NASA has been contracting with the Orbital Sciences and California-based SpaceX to keep the space station stocked in the post-shuttle era. This is the first disaster in this new program.
2 men arrested in the shooting death of a 9-year-old Anaheim girl are now facing murder charges. Ricardo Cruz and Alfredo Miguel Aquino appeared briefly this afternoon in a Santa Ana courtroom. A judge did not allow us to record video of the suspects in court, only audio. The men didn't enter pleas but were appointed public attorneys. The two documented gang members are accused of entering a rival gang's territory last week and firing at a group of men. A bullet hit and killed Jimena Meza. Her parents came to court to see the men accused of killing their daughter.
They don't want to make any comments because they're still in mourning, but we are positive 100% that the Anaheim Police Department did not make a mistake on this arrest.
Both suspects are being held on $1 million bail.
An East Los Angeles basketball coach who runs a prep academy out of his home has been arrested on suspicion of recording nude images of his players in his bathroom. Police say 50-year-old Michael Robert Miller was taken into custody yesterday following an 11-month investigation. It began after police say several students reported being secretly filmed in Miller's bathroom. 3 players also claim Miller touched them inappropriately. None of the alleged victims are said to be minors. Miller has been released on $50,000 bail. And startling new allegations against a former Santa Ana teacher already charged with committing lewd acts against a child. Well, federal prosecutors accuse 63-year-old Robert Ruben Ornelas of traveling to the Philippines to have sex with a 14-year-old girl and videotaping the encounter. A federal indictment says after the trip in March 2012, Ornelas brought video images of the sexual encounter back to the United States. Ornelas was already facing charges in Orange County, accused of possessing child porn at his home.
A dangerous lava flow has burned a wooden shed in Pahoa Village on the Big Island of Hawaii. Many residents are already evacuated or are preparing to do so. As ABC's Emmett Miller shows us, dozens more homes and businesses are directly in the lava's path.
A glowing river of molten rock carving a path toward the center of Pahoa, swallowing sheds, whole roadways, and closing in on the fleeing villagers themselves.
We don't know what we're going to do. I mean, it's really scary.
Even scarier, at a temperature of more than 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, the lava only needs to get near a home to ignite it. And as seen from above, one structure on the edge of town is already in flames. This trail of lava has been spewing from the Mount Kilauea volcano since it erupted back in June. It's traveled 12 miles since then, at times speeding up erratically and fanning out to swallow parts of the hillside. The lush town of Pahoa is directly downslope. In the 1990s, about 200 homes were destroyed by lava flows from Kilauea. The last evacuations came in 2011 when one home was destroyed and several others threatened. Officials say there's no way to stop the lava, but they're wrapping power poles with concrete rings to offer a layer of protection. If the lava crosses Highway 130, it'd isolate the Puna region from the rest of the island, cutting off an access and escape route for thousands.
Big Island officials say arranging to let the villagers watch their homes being destroyed is a means of providing them with closure. They say the despair these people are suffering is unimaginable. In Los Angeles, Emmett Miller, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
And an elementary school projected to be in the lava's path will start closing on Wednesday, and other schools will close starting Thursday. Depending on what side of the flow students live, they'll either go to a newly built temporary facility or other area schools.
An update to a story we first brought you as breaking news yesterday. Crews have repaired the broken water main at Highland Avenue and Santa Monica Boulevard in Hollywood. The LADWP says the 6-inch pipe has been repaired and repressurized. The road is also fixed and the streets reopened this afternoon. The pipe broke yesterday. Then, while replacing a broken section of the main, crews repressurized the line and the pipe broke in another spot. So that, too, had to be fixed.
Let's check in with Jonathan Novak. It is Halloween week and maybe it's going to rain on trick-or-treaters.
You know, it might. In fact, we even have snow in the forecast, my friends. Yes, we're looking at the satellite and radar to start it off tonight. Clear skies off to the west is a big change we'll look at a little later. But for today, high pressure meant clear skies and temperatures like this. It was 78 in downtown, warmer than our normal of 77, and some spots even around 90 degrees today. It was a hot one in some areas, in the inland areas around the valley. 68 in Long Beach right now. Temperatures elsewhere, 71 still in Santa Clarita and Burbank. And in Ontario, 72 in Van Nuys. We're in the upper 60s here at the coast. Mid-60s up in the Oxnard area, 63 Santa Barbara. Wake up tomorrow at about 61 degrees. Just a few coastal clouds possible, but overall very nice tomorrow. Clear, sunny, 82 in downtown by noon. A warm and sunny day, but we have big changes in the forecast. We have rain to talk about, maybe some snow, much cooler weather. It's all in the 7-day coming up. I'll tell you about it.
Thank you, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
A memorial has been set up outside the Washington High School where Friday's deadly shooting took place. The memorial honors the two girls who died, but there are also tributes to the gunmen. And ABC's Neil Karlinski has more on the message of love and forgiveness.
At this growing memorial, messages for teenage gunman Jalen Freiberg are right alongside the kids he's accused of luring and shooting in that brutal lunchroom attack. But they're not angry notes. Rest in peace, Jalen. You guys will be missed terribly. And on wrestling shoes, may you wrestle with angels now.
The only question I still have is just why. What was going through his head?
And even from his hospital bed, Nate Hatch, recovering from a gunshot to the jaw, has no anger for Jalen.
Nate doesn't know why. He just wonders why his brother. He says, I don't know why my brother shot me. You know, and why? I don't know why.
Therapy dogs have been brought in to help the hundreds of kids who are hurting, sad, confused, but not just for the victims, for the boy they remember as a homecoming prince, not a murderer. One thing students have requested above all else from school officials, a new cafeteria. And so when school reopens here next week, that lunchroom will be closed. Neil Karlinski, ABC News, Marysville, Washington.
A shocking story up next here at 8 o'clock. A young man found locked in a cage. Is an elderly couple to blame? The startling details.
Plus, her dad goes missing after an NFL game, and tonight a major development in the case.
At risky surgery today for a kitten we introduced you to here in Eyewitness News. The very latest on Muffin.
Michigan couple is accused of locking a man with autism in a caged bed. 65-year-old Karen Tolan and 66-year-old Timothy Tolan faced a judge for the first time today. They're charged with unlawful imprisonment and vulnerable adult abuse. Man with autism was found locked in a caged bed at a home north of Detroit. Authorities removed 3 adults and 2 children from the home. Department of Human Services says the home wasn't a licensed care facility.
Well, this just in, a father who mysteriously vanished during a halftime at a Broncos game has been found. Denver police tweeted that Paul Kitterman has been safely located. The 53-year-old went missing during Thursday night's matchup with the San Diego Chargers at Sports Authority Field. Police say Kitterman was found unharmed in Pueblo, Colorado. They have not released any other details and will continue to bring you the latest on the story.
Mixed martial artist known as Mayhem Miller, who is charged with beating up his girlfriend, has started a GoFundMe campaign asking for $2 million. Earlier this month, sheriff's deputies went to his Mission Viejo home with an arrest warrant on the domestic violence charges. Miller, whose real name is Jason, barricaded himself inside, tweeting to his followers to come to the home during the standoff. As for the GoFundMe campaign, Miller says the $2 million is not going toward an extravagant lifestyle, but rather to invest in himself and other MMA fighters. So far, pledges total just over $1,000.
A cat left paralyzed after an apparent microchip mishap underwent surgery today to fix the mistake.
Eyewitness News reporter Robert Olguin has more on today's procedure and what's next for Muffin the cat.
This orange kitten, named Muffin, spent more than 2 hours in surgery today to remove this microchip that was lodged in its spine. And by all indications, Muffin appears to be doing well.
I am so happy. This is the happiest day of my life.
Laurent Slama adopted the kitten 2 weeks ago from the LA County Animal Shelter in Downey. She says that after workers at the shelter implanted the microchip, Muffin became paralyzed on its left side.
He's still in recovery. We got to wait at least 24 hours for him to be totally out of the woods.
So this is actually a pretty risky surgery.
Clarissa Robles is the neurologist who operated on Muffin's spine. Robles says she's never seen a microchip that ends up in an animal's spine.
I talked to the company with the microchip, and they think they've said there's been about 5 cases in their history of this.
Laurent and other volunteers raised $3,000 in donations to help pay for Muffin's medical bills. She says the county has offered to pay $1,500 toward Muffin's care.
The surgery itself was $2,500 plus, some other extras, so that will not cover the whole cost of the surgery.
Robert Olguin, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
And it'll take about a month to see if there is any permanent neurological damage, but for now, the expectation is that Muffin will make a full recovery.
That's good news. Jonathan Novak joins us now, and maybe some rain and some snow in the forecast.
This is what we have. You know what that is? You read that? I don't know if you can see that. What is that?
Mixed
bag.
Right.
Bag.
It says mix. Mix on it. That's what I have for you for the weather. Get to the mixed bag.
That was
Would it be a mixed bag?
You would, but did you know mixed bags say mix on them?
Ah,
that's the thing. You didn't know that. I also only had about 5 seconds to write that down, so I only wrote mix. And I write large. Live Megalopolis 7000 HD. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, folks. We have rain, we have snow, we have colder weather, we have warmer weather. Just about everything you could possibly want is in there. Live Megalopolis 7000 HD. Dry conditions now. A little rain up to the northern portions of California, but nothing for us in the short term. Santa Clarita hit 90 today. Whoa! Simi Valley was at 81, lower 80s in Hollywood. Riverside neared 90. You got up to 87. Newport Beach, 72. So the coast didn't see a huge warm up, but the inland areas, man, you got really toasty. It's 68 right now in Riverside. 67 at the coast. We head over to the airport there. And other numbers around Southern California tonight are on the coolish side of things. 63 in Victorville, 47 in Wrightwood. Hey, Big Bear, this weekend, maybe a little bit of light snow potentially. We'll get to that. 46, though, right now for you this evening. A cool evening. The numbers from last night, we compare them, were actually warmer by about 4 or 5 degrees in the inland spots. But look at the coast, pretty much where you were last night. So not a lot of warming today at the coastal areas. Tomorrow, maybe a little bit, but the inland areas tomorrow are going to warm even more. So if you thought it was hot today, you got one more day of this high pressure that's over us before a big change off to the west. Look at this big trough of low pressure that's rolling through. As that comes through, Friday and Saturday especially, that's where the real change is. Cooler weather, rain, clouds, maybe some snow in the higher elevations above 8,000 feet. It's all here for you in the future rainfall. The forecast starting off tonight at 8 p.m. Watch where we are tomorrow. I'll stop it in the afternoon Wednesday. Not a lot of change for us, except that high pressure will actually increase in intensity, and we'll see the temperatures go up for one more day. Thursday, things cool down a little bit, and the clouds start encroaching upon our area in the late afternoon. Rain stays north on Thursday. Rain stays north most of Friday. By late Friday, and this is 4 p.m., rain from the central coast up to San Francisco, some snow in the high Sierra, and it is going to be moving down toward our area. Looks like a slight chance in Southern California Friday night and Saturday, starting late Friday into Saturday, maybe a little bit of light snow potentially
in the mountains above about 7,000 or 8,000 feet. Lows tonight are in the 50s and 60s. Let's check out the highs tomorrow. I want you to see that it's going to be another hot one if you're around Riverside, if you're around Northridge, if you're around Pasadena, upper 80s, lower 90s. LA is going to top out around 85. And you'll see in the 7-day forecast, Thursday's a transition day as things start changing a bit. 79, but Friday, 74 for a high, 69 on Saturday, and a chance of showers Friday night to Saturday. After that, it's a gradual, slow warm-up into next week. Valley's IE, 90 tomorrow, lower 80s, still nice on Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, in the upper 60s, lower 70s, and a shot at some showers in the evening time Friday into early Saturday morning. The mountains, 43 Saturday morning. You got 3 days in the 60s, and then 43 Saturday morning, 20 for a low on Sunday, in the teens Monday morning, and maybe a little bit of snow. Going in above 7,000, 8,000 feet. The high desert looking really nice for a couple of days before things get really cool on Saturday. 61 for a high and a slim shot at a shower. More weather coming up on this forecast in a few minutes. Back to you guys to the desk.
Jonathan, thank you. Up next, why thousands of MacBook owners are demanding refunds from Apple.
Plus, did AT&T mislead wireless customers? Details on a new lawsuit and how the company is responding tonight.
And the daughter of the late Joan Rivers taking action after what the medical examiner revealed.
Cue me. Your last cue was you gave me a 15 on my second to last. For my second to last 7 day, you gave me a 15 or a 10 rather. But you gave me a 10. You gave me a 10. No, I know, but you gave me a 10, and I was on my second to last 7 day at the 10-second mark. So how did that 10 turn into 40 seconds? I didn't talk, but you gave me a 10 on my second to last 7 day. Or did I not hear that? Did I mishear that? I heard a 10 on my second to last 7 day.
I heard one 10.
And when did you hear that? I heard a 90. I heard a 90. I heard a 30 when I was going into the 7 days. And I heard a 10 on my second to last 7 day. So there's something going, so there's some things. I don't know. I could not have talked that long between my second to last 7 day and the last one, but I apologize. I'll go shorter in the next one. And how that? Hi. Okay, I'll shut up.
The federal government is suing AT&T for allegedly misleading smartphone customers about unlimited data plans. In the complaint filed today in federal court in San Francisco, the Federal Trade Commission says AT&T Mobility failed to adequately disclose to customers that it would throttle their data speeds if they went over a certain amount of data use. AT&T denies misleading customers, saying the company informed all unlimited data plan customers in bill notices and a national press release before the program was implemented.
Is there a problem with a certain model of MacBook Pro? A lot of people think so, and they want Apple to do something about it. More than 20,000 people have signed an online petition asking Apple to replace 2011 MacBook Pros. There have been widespread complaints that the computers are crashing or freezing after just a couple years' use. So far, no response from Apple. Robots are ready to help shoppers at a hardware store in Northern California.
Where can I find more of these?
I'm looking for hammers.
Me gustaría comprar esto.
Can you place the object in my viewfinder?
Is this the item you are looking for?
Yes.
I'll take you.
They're called Oshbots and are equipped with 3D cameras that can scan an object and help guide a customer to its location in the store. They also are able to speak multiple languages. 2 Oshbots will make their debut at an Orchard Supply Hardware in San Jose this holiday season.
The Marvel Universe is expanding in huge ways on the big screen. At an event today at the El Capitan Theater, actor Chadwick Boseman was named as lead actor in the upcoming Black Panther. He was joined on stage by Marvel's Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., and Captain America, Chris Evans. It'll be in theaters 2017. Marvel announced a full slate of new movies. The company's Phase 3 includes Captain America Civil War. It'll be out May 2016. Then Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That's May of 2017. And in July 2018, Captain Marvel, with the hero's name being Carol Danvers. For all the Marvel news, go to our website, ABC7.com.
Out of Marvel. We're updating this evening's top stories next at 8:30.
Including the latest on a spectacular rocket explosion. It's cargo intended for the International Space Station. What triggered the massive blast?
And federal agents on the job, an ACF team joining the investigation into a suspicious fire at a storage facility in Venice.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 8:30, a rocket explodes just seconds after liftoff. I'm David Ono.
I'm Ellen Leva. The unmanned rocket blew up over the launch complex at Wallops Island, Virginia. Flames could be seen shooting into the sky as the sun set. No one is believed to have been hurt. The damage appears to be limited to the facilities. The Cygnus cargo ship was loaded with 5,000 pounds of gear for the 6 people living on the space station. NASA is paying the Virginia-based Orbital Sciences and the California-based SpaceX company to keep the space station stocked in the post-shuttle era. This is the first disaster in that effort.
A 25-year-old suspected drunk driver is behind bars, arrested for allegedly hitting and killing a Ventura County Sheriff's deputy during a traffic stop. Kevin Hogreef of Camarillo was arrested near the scene of the hit-and-run crash. 41-year-old Sergeant Eugene Kostanchenko had pulled over a vehicle early this morning on Highway 101 in Camarillo. He was struck moments after he had completed that traffic stop. Fellow officers say Kostanchenko will be greatly missed.
Another big story tonight, staggering pictures streaming in tonight from Hawaii, what's being called a river of fire. Lava from the Kilauea volcano is threatening dozens of homes and businesses. ABC's Rob Marciano reports from the Big Island.
Tonight, the inevitable is happening. The river of molten hot lava that's been creeping towards the Hawaiian town of Pahoa, burning everything in its path, is now in the backyards of residents. Watch as the first structure is swallowed up in heat and flames.
We do have fire crews on the ground, just in the event we have any kind of a brush fire problem or any other type of exposure fire.
Residents on edge, ready to run at a moment's notice.
We can't see the future. The flow does what the flow does.
We're going in. We trek to the front lines of the lava's destructive path. We're getting closer. You can smell it. A long, rugged hike through thick grass and heavy rain.
We're not even halfway to the flow, and then once we get there, we're probably upstream quite a bit, so this is going to be a longer night than we anticipated.
Eventually arriving at the lava field.
This is just incredible. It just broke out from underneath of what was cooled, hardened lava. It is incredibly hot right here. We're still 3 miles from the lava front, and this is only a few yards wide. You can just imagine what a lava front over a football field wide would feel or look like going through your neighborhood.
The 2,000-degree lava has been headed toward the town since June, traveling another 90 yards in the last 24 hours, inching closer.
Aside from advising for evacuations, Pahoa has gone to the extraordinary measure of closing schools here for a full week, which highlights the fact that there are still a lot of questions as to when and where this lava will arrive and how much of this town it will take with it. Rob Marciano, ABC News, Pahoa, Hawaii.
An ATF team is joining the investigation into a suspicious fire at a storage facility in Venice. The blaze broke out Saturday night at the Extra Space Storage Facility. It took 200 firefighters to put it out. 8 suffered minor injuries. 5 were taken to the hospital. All have since been released. Fire investigators are still trying to figure out what sparked this massive fire.
Due to the magnitude of this fire, the Los Angeles Fire Department has reached out to the ATF. And they have requested that the National Response Team be initiated, and they are present.
The ATF investigation could take days to complete. Meantime, concerned customers are frustrated they can't get any answers about their belongings.
Inspectors are asking for your help to find the bank robber who held up a Citibank in Glendale. Take a close look at these photos. Police say the man robbed a Citibank on the 400 block of North Central Avenue about noon on Thursday of last week. He's described as a black male, about 30 years old, 5'8" to 5'9", 185 pounds, short black hair, and police aren't saying how much he got away with. No one was hurt in this robbery. If you can help, please call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS.
Arraignment today for the 2 Utah residents suspected in Friday's Northern California shooting rampage. Luis Enrique Monroy Bracamonte has been charged with 14 different counts, including the murder of 2 sheriff's deputies. His wife, Marcela Marquez, was arraigned separately. She was charged with the murder of just one of the deputies, along with an attempted murder and carjacking. Neither of them entered pleas. And a guilty verdict today for the 21-year-old student and friend of Boston Marathon bombing suspect Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. A federal jury convicted Raul Filipos today on 2 counts of lying to investigators. Prosecutors say he lied about being in Tsarnaev's dorm room while 2 other friends removed potential evidence. Filipos is currently under house arrest. He faces a maximum of 8 years in each count. Sentencing is scheduled for January.
Lawsuit filed by a disgraced former dictator of Panama, Manuel Noriega, has been thrown out by a Superior Court judge. Noriega sought damages from the video game company Activision after his likeness was included in the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 game. Today, the judge ruled the game relied very little on Noriega and his inclusion is protected by the First Amendment. One of Activision's lawyers, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, was in court in L.A. to argue the case. And in a statement today, he called the ruling, quote, an important victory for free speech. Melissa Rivers and her family have hired an attorney in connection with the death of her mother. Joan Rivers died in September after a procedure to treat voice changes and acid reflux at a New York City clinic. She died of low blood oxygen after being sedated with propofol. According to a statement released today, the Rivers family hired an attorney to fully determine all the facts and circumstances surrounding Joan's death. So far, no lawsuit has been filed.
Health officials in Riverside County are monitoring 2 people who recently traveled to West Africa for signs of Ebola. The 2 are said to be low-risk candidates for Ebola and are undergoing daily checkups only as a precaution. Meantime, the second nurse infected while treating an Ebola patient in Dallas was discharged today. This is the World Health Organization says thousands more health workers are urgently needed in West Africa. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the latest on the Ebola crisis.
I'm so grateful to be well.
With no trace of Ebola, Amber Vinson is now heading home. The nurse infected while treating a man who died from the virus in Dallas, discharged today from Emory University Hospital in Atlanta.
While this is a day for celebration and gratitude, I ask that we not lose focus on the thousands of families who continue to labor under the burden of this disease in West Africa.
The World Health Organization now saying at least 5,000 healthcare workers are needed in West Africa to battle the Ebola outbreak, as the debate continues here over how those people on the front lines are treated when they return home.
We don't want to discourage our healthcare workers from going to the front lines and dealing with this in an effective way.
Nurse Casey Hickox came back from treating Ebola patients in Sierra Leone and was forced to stay in a tent outside a New Jersey hospital for 3 days, even though she had no symptoms and tested negative for the virus.
Her civil rights were violated.
She's now in isolation in Maine, one of 9 states instituting some type of quarantine for returning healthcare workers, going beyond the CDC's updated guidelines, which only call for high-risk people to restrict their travel and public activity and monitor for symptoms. And now the only Ebola patient in the U.S. is Dr. Craig Spencer, who is still hospitalized here, listed in serious but stable condition. In New York, Marcy Gonzalez, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Election day is exactly 1 week away, and the 2 gubernatorial candidates with very different campaign tactics were in Southern California today. It is the well-known current Democratic Governor Jerry Brown versus the lesser-known Republican Neil Kashkari. Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Granda takes a look at both candidates.
In the governor's race, it's been one candidate trying to tell voters who he is.
I'm not from a powerful political family. I grew up a middle-class kid, son of immigrants. I've lived the American dream.
And another who isn't saying much about himself at all.
The people of California know more about my candidacy than any other candidacy in the history of California. Look, this is pretty clear. Save water, save money, vote 1 and vote 2.
Governor Jerry Brown is actually spending more time pushing Props 1 and 2 than campaigning for governor. Today he was at John Marshall High School talking about energy efficiency, and he talked only briefly about the race.
There's lots to do, and I feel fully up to it, and you'll hear more over the next 4 years.
His challenger, Neil Kashkari, is anxious to talk about what he feels are the issues facing California, especially the need for jobs in the state.
You know, we're ranked 50th out of 50 states for business climate, so we shouldn't be surprised when Toyota, Tesla, Nestle, all these companies are leaving. It's not just big businesses, it's medium-sized and small businesses too. Well, why don't we improve the economic climate of the state?
Kashkari produced this controversial ad which shows a child drowning in a pool. It says Jerry Brown betrayed kids and the boy is rescued by Kashkari. He's referencing a recent court case where children sued the state, saying the teacher tenure system is unconstitutional. The children won. Governor Brown joined the California Teachers Association, one of his major donors, to appeal that ruling.
When the neediest kids of California asked the governor for help, he turned his back on them. He betrayed them to back his donors.
The governor today said the court ruling giving the kids a victory means very little until it goes to a higher court.
Can have no effect on teacher dismissal unless and until an appellate court adopts its ruling. Absent that, it's more or less of a sentiment, but it's not an edict of any kind. So as a responsible leader, I did appeal that case.
I'm Carlos Granda, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Recent polls show Jerry Brown with a double-digit lead, 16 points ahead of Kashkari. Well, make sure you're prepared for next Tuesday's election. Go to abc7.com/vote for access to our stories about some of the races and the ballot propositions.
Oh, next, startling news about the number of newborn children suffering from a health issue due to alcohol exposure before birth.
Plus, why too many women choose to ignore potentially deadly heart attack symptoms, and a call to action from doctors.
And will the lights come on for Halloween? An elaborately decorated house is forced off and then on and then off, and then, well, guess what it is now?
That's pretty cool. All right, sun setting over Malibu. We have one more day of warm weather, and then things really shake up. I will tell you how cold it's going to get and the chances of rain and snow. 7-day forecast coming up to the ground.
A new report finds knowing not to drink during pregnancy and not actually doing it are apparently two different things. The research shows as many as 1 in 20 U.S. children have a health issue due to alcohol exposure before birth. The journal Pediatrics determined nearly 5% of children have some kind of fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Researchers followed women with children in a Midwest town. Experts say mixed messages about drinking during pregnancy and unplanned pregnancies account for some of the reasons women drink while they're pregnant.
We know mammography can be a hit or miss in women with dense breasts, and now a new journal, Radiology report, says combining it with a new 3D technology may be a cost-effective way to increase accuracy. Researchers say combining tomosynthesis with mammography can significantly prevent false diagnosis and decrease the number of unnecessary invasive procedures. Critics say the findings are controversial since not every woman has dense breasts. Since the two technologies together would raise the screening cost to about $226 instead of the $139 for mammography alone. And some heart attack symptoms are the same for both men and women, but how each gender deals with it is an entirely different story. New research reveals it's time for a wake-up call for women, and here's health specialist Denise Tador.
When busy mom and grandmother Barbara Lewis gets off work, she's always rushing to do something for the kids.
And then we forget about ourselves. Like, okay, we're not Wonder Woman, we have to really work it out.
So it's not surprising to hear the last time she felt chest pain, she ignored it.
Just told me it was heartburn, because we think it's heartburn because we ate fried food and all of that.
Fortunately for her, it wasn't a heart attack. But a new Harvard School of Public Health study shows this internal battle happens in most women suffering cardiac events. Many ignore the signs until it's too late.
More women than men die of cardiovascular disease in the U.S. and worldwide per year.
In the study, researchers found women were 1.5 times more likely than men to wait for their symptoms to become more severe or more frequent before seeking medical attention.
Interventional cardiologist Christina Economides with Good Samaritan Hospital says women have heart attacks about 10 years later in life than men, which lessens their chances of surviving.
They've acquired more high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and they're older, so they have more medical problems.
Dr. Economides adds some healthcare providers may be more likely to dismiss symptoms in women, so women need to feel empowered to advocate for themselves. But the first step, understanding their health, has to come first.
She needs to remember that if she is not healthy, all these things that she has to do on a daily basis are going to go by the wayside.
For Barbara, that means making time to eat right and exercise so she can get her high blood pressure under control.
That's basically what I'm doing now to help to keep from a heart attack, because I don't want a heart attack.
Denise Tador, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
And in the study, Harvard researchers also found women waited for others to tell them how sick they appeared before they were convinced to seek medical attention.
Halloween is still a few days away, but there's already a strong candidate for costume in the worst taste, the sexy Ebola nurse. Of course, the sexy nurse has been a costume mainstay for years, but now online retailer Brands on Sale is offering what it calls the sexy Ebola containment suit. It features a short white nurse's dress, a face shield, breathing mask, safety goggles, and latex gloves. It sells for $59.99. It's getting a lot of reaction on Twitter, and the word disgusted seems to be popping up a lot. However, you know a lot of folks will be wearing it.
It looks so uncomfortable, too.
The whole head thing.
Exactly.
Totally.
Rain, even snow on the weekend forecast. Meteorologist Jonathan Novak has details coming up.
Plus, the NCAA Football Playoff Committee announces the top 4 projected seeds. Could a surprise team make an appearance? The answer is ahead.
On the left, look at your Halloween forecast.
You know, it's scary how much stuff we have going on in the forecast.
Ooh,
all right, thank you. We have David's a tough one, I will tell you.
I'm smiling.
Yeah, he's smiling. I'll take that. That's like laughter at him. I feel like Ronnie Dangerfield when I get that. All right, let's see what's happening outside right now. Live making up on 7000 HD. And we have the sweeps heading around. It is dry tonight. But things will change as we go into the weekend. Heading toward Halloween, we have a huge change. In fact, the temperatures cool down and rain coming in, maybe some snow. Lots going on. 71 right now in Burbank, current temperature. It is clear, it is calm, it is cool. It is 65 in Oxnard, 44 right there, updating Big Bear. Current temperature 47 in Wrightwood, 71 from Burbank to Ontario. Right now we have high pressure just right over us, pretty much. It will be for the next 24 to 36 hours, and that's going to be hanging out for about another day and then keeping us warm before it's nudged to the east by the next system, a big trough of low pressure that will roll through Southern California. That is going to bring things, bring some chances of rain and change everything, really, as we go through Friday and Saturday. The future rainfall will show you two things. It's going to show you where the rain is, and also watch the wind direction. As we get a little bit closer rain, I'll zoom in here on Wednesday. Winds are pretty much offshore. And you see the center of the high pressure right here. Winds go around high pressure clockwise. You see that rotation right there. Watch what happens on Thursday, though. Late in the game on Thursday, we see the wind direction start to change. That is ahead of a cold front. That front's going to bring rain on Friday to northern and even some central portions of California Friday afternoon and early evening. We're going to stay dry, but we're going to see the clouds move in on Friday in the afternoon. Temperatures dropping. The rain comes in Friday night and Saturday morning. The chance is not great, but it is there. It is 20 to 30% and maybe a few flurries in the mountains. Highs tomorrow, though. One more day of really warm stuff. Mid-80s in LA, lower 90s in the IE. 86 Mission Viejo, mid-70s at the coast. That 7-day forecast for LA Metro and Orange County. Powered up by AccuWeather. Beautiful tomorrow. Thursday's a transition day, 79, and then mid-70s only on Friday, in the upper 60s on Saturday. Overnight Friday to Saturday, we're seeing that slim chance of a couple of showers for Halloween. In the evening, late evening. Valleys, IE, same for you. We have another really warm day on Wednesday before things start transitioning on Thursday. Lower 70s on Friday, upper 60s on Saturday. There's that risk of some showers here. Cloudy Friday night. Things clear out later on Saturday. Sunday's looking good on through next week, actually, so that's nice. And the mountains, 3 days in the 60s, and then a huge change. Temperatures dropping to 43 on Saturday. A 30% chance of snow above 7,000 feet. How about that? In the high desert, very nice tomorrow. You got breezes kicking in all the way through Saturday, but temperatures at 80 or in the 70s from tomorrow through Friday before you cool down on Saturday and Sunday. Dallas has the latest on this forecast, ABC7 at 11. That's it for me, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
With a win tonight in Kansas City, the Giants will claim their third World Series title since 2010, but the Royals seem to have regained their mojo using a 7-run second inning to force a winner-take-all Game 7. KC takes Game 6, 10-zip. Full highlights at Eyewitness News at 11 p.m. In the meantime, college football right now. The NCAA did away with the BCS starting this year, opting instead for a 4-team playoff. Today, the 12-member selection committee announced their first-ever playoff rankings. 2 unbeatens, Mississippi State and Florida State, figured to be 1 and 2, but there were more than 10 one-loss teams looking to sneak into the national title consideration. So, without further ado, here are your top 4 seeds in the first NCAA football playoff bracket. Mississippi State sits at number 1. The Bulldogs are number 1 in both the AP and the coaches poll. Number 2 goes to Florida State, followed by Auburn and at 3, and Ole Miss surprises everyone, getting the number 4 seed. Oregon and Alabama check in at number 5 and number 6. Kings taking the 6-game win streak to the city of brotherly love. First period, Philly fans not loving this. Tyler Toffoli picks off the Flyers' pass and goes 1-on-none down the other way, knotting the game at 1. And this one went to overtime, tied at 2. Former Kings first-rounder Braden Shen with a theft of his own. He goes down ice. This one was initially waved off, but after review, it was ruled Shen indeed scored the game winner. Flyers win this one in overtime 3-2. John Gibson in the goal for the Ducks. And the Western Conference showdown, the 21-year-old playing in just his 3rd game of the season, doing all he could to stop a relentless Blackhawks attack to the tune of 38 saves. But the Ducks had nothing doing on offense either until the 3rd period. With Chicago on the power play, Brent Seabrook misplays the puck, and Devontae Smith-Pelly gets the breakaway and puts it past Scott Darling. Ducks win their 8th in 9 games, 1-zip the final.
Faced a lot of controversy, but after a few tricks, the Halloween house is ready to treat people in Riverside. An Eyewitness News Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan shows you the home that is back in action tonight.
This show, featuring synchronized music and 12,000 lights, may have taken half a year to set up and program.
There's going to be barricades when I go up on the other side.
But it might be the placement of these traffic cones that's most exciting, because what you're watching here is only happening because their city permit has been approved, and the show will be allowed to go on.
There are so many people that haven't been able to see it, so I think we'll have an overwhelming response once we go public again.
We didn't find anyone who told us flat out that they were against the show, but people like Johnny O, who lives 2 doors down, says it wasn't the noise that was the big issue. It was the traffic.
It was a little out of control, not on their side. They did everything great, and they were attending to their peoples. But groups that big bring some problems.
But their city permit, which needed the signatures of 3 of the neighbors, will close off about a 100-yard stretch of the road.
There will be periodic drive-throughs in the area by the police, and they will ticket any illegally parked vehicle, anybody that's parked in a homeowner's property or driveway, as well as any illegal activity that they find going on.
Rob McMillan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
And there'll be shows every night through Halloween.
More news straight ahead here at 8:30.
And ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. Does milk do the body good? New information that raises questions about whether drinking milk is really good for you. Plus, we're on the red carpet for the premiere of a movie already getting Oscar buzz, The Theory of Everything. It's the film that brings Stephen Hawking's life to the big screen. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 late newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
A big rally in downtown L.A. today as activists call on politicians to fix L.A. This is the Fix LA Coalition, which includes members of various LA city unions and community organizations. They marched through downtown LA, winding up on the steps of City Hall. Their message to Mayor Eric Garcetti and the LA City Council: stop corporate giveaways, recover taxpayer dollars from big corporations, and stand up for LA's working families. They're also asking for a $15 an hour minimum wage and crossing guards at every school.
It was all about fun and healthy living at a Halloween carnival for children in Watts today. Cedars-Sinai Coach for Kids sponsored the event to raise awareness about a newly launched after-school nutrition program at the Imperial Courts housing development. The carnival featured a magician, a face painter, a pumpkin decorating, balloon animals, all kinds of stuff in carnival games. Event organizers say the goal is to ensure children have a safe and healthy Halloween.
Nurses and doctors at Children's Hospital Los Angeles are trying to make Halloween a holiday their patients don't have to miss. And you can help. Say Happy Halloween to kids at CHLA by sending a batagram. Your email card will be printed out, delivered to all the kids. Just make sure to send yours by Friday. And it's easy. Just go to our website, ABC7.com, and we will show you how.
See how many we can get. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 8:30 on LA56. Law and Order SVU is next here on LA56.
And Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 and anytime on ABC7.com.
Good night.